This is where I grew up. As long as I can remember, I've always had to work hard. Seems like I spent most of my time collecting water. I used to dream of one day falling in love, getting married, living in a big house and having lots of children. I even dreamed of being a doctor, helping people feel better, fixing them when they're sick. I'd lie awake at night with my sister. She would draw pictures on my back using her finger. I'd try and guess what she drew. One day she got sick. I loved her very much. I used to love to laugh. I used to love to feel the warm sun on my face. I used to love to walk through the tall grass, feeling it tickle my ankles. I used to be a young girl. You can call me Ruth.
I can remember where I was driving along and God said to me, Gary, in this place you're going to shed blood, sweat, and tears, but if you're faithful to me, I'll be faithful to you. And I just remember seeing a massive thunderstorm coming in across the city, and it was just this feeling like, wow, this could be an incredible place, but it was so broken. And I just had this deep inner conviction that I was in the right place at the right time. This was where God wanted me. And a rainbow appeared out of that storm, and the end of the rainbow was from one side of the city over the other, and I felt at the foot of the rainbow there's a pot of gold, and I'm going to find that pot of gold in the heart of this city. It was about 2-3 years later, maybe not even quite that long, that we were hit by HIV/AIDS. We heard that it was what they called slim, because if you got AIDS, you lost your weight, and no antiretrovirals. We found out later that we were one of the highest infection rates in the world, officially 27%, but it was more than that. And people started dying, and we started having funerals on a regular basis, and we also found out that we had the highest number of AIDS orphans in the world. We had a young man who lived in a town called Luero. He said, come up and visit us. He said, I want you to meet this grandmother. She was 76, her husband had died, she had had 7 children, 6 of her own natural biological children had died. She had 26 of her own grandchildren living with her on that facility. She just began to break down. She said, I have no one to look after these kids. I'm old, I'm tired, I can't dig anymore. What am I going to do? And I said to her, don't worry about your children. We'll help you with your children. And it was a defining moment for me because I realized I couldn't pastor a great church and ignore the problems of the people. And it was during that time that God began to very clearly speak to me and one day said to me, he said, Gary, I want you to look after my children. He didn't say the children, he said my children. Instantly I knew that it was the orphan, because the orphan, he's the father of the fatherless. And I knew I was to look after kids that have been orphaned as a result of, left parentless as a result of HIV/AIDS. And I argued with God. I said, I'm not interested. I don't want to look after kids. Kids pee their pants, they flatulate, I want to preach. I want to pastor. And Jesus said to me, he said, I didn't send you to Uganda to do what you want. I sent you to Uganda to do what I want. Look after my children.